Pretty good, that's good.
That's me.
That's you?
That was me. I want to make sure you can hear me down there.
Yeah. No motions to close public hearing.
What am I supposed to do?
There's plenty more.
Oh.
The time is 6:30 PM, and the Louisville Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of May 7th, 2013 is now called to order, and there is a quorum present. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the April 2nd, 2013 meeting. If there are no corrections, may I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve?
Motion by Karen,
Second?
second by Brent. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 3 is a consent agenda plat. This is preliminary plat for the Shops of Castle Hills Edition, Lot 1-1, Block A, a 48-acre tract designated light industrial, L1, located on the northwest corner of Windhaven Parkway and Josie Lane. Jay?
Good evening, Commissioners. This preliminary plat has been reviewed by staff and meets all city requirements. The purpose of the plat is to subdivide the tract into 15 lots. Staff recommends approval of the plat.
Questions? Commissioners? Okay, may I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve?
Motion by Karen,
Second?
seconded by Steve. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, next, item 4 is the public hearing consent agenda for plat. This is the final plat of Waters Ridge Phase 2, Lot 1R1 and 1R2, Block A. It is a 10.23 acre tract, zoned light industrial L1. It's located on the south side of Corporate Drive between Lake Point Drive and Lakeway Drive. Jay?
This final plat has been reviewed by staff and also meets city requirements. The purpose of this plat is to subdivide an existing development into 2 separate parcels. Staff recommends approval of the plat.
Okay, questions for Jay? Okay, at this time we open up a public hearing. If anyone wishes to step forward and speak on the Waters Ridge Phase item, please do so. Okay, having no one come forward, we'll close the public hearing. Commissioners, discussion? All right, may I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve?
Motion by Karen to approve,
Second? Second?
seconded by Michael. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Agenda item 5 is a regular hearing for a plat. It's a preliminary plat of Windale Meadows Edition, having 2 commercial lots zoned general business, GB, 4 HOA lots, and 232 single-family residential lots zoned estate townhouse, ETH. It's on 60.803 acre tract, bounded by Windhaven Parkway on the east, Farm to Market 544 on the south, Farm to Market 2281 on the west, and State Highway 121 and Cookie Lane on the north, with 1 requested variance for this. Kelly? Mr. Kelly? Sorry.
Good evening.
Evening.
Yes, this property was rezoned back in April 15th, City Council meeting. From all the property was GB, and it's been rezoned to ETH and GB zoning. The proposed lots and homes will conform with the requirements of the detached product for ETH zoning. There are 2 remainder lots that are GB zoning that will be developed by a future developer. There is one variance requested, which is an alley waiver to provide for frontage near lots. And the reason we're supporting this is the subdivision is currently restricted by location of some existing sanitary sewer easements. With the sanitary sewer mains in place, the layout of the subdivision has worked around those and is dedicating additional right-of-way for them and also relocating some of those sanitary sewer mains to make it work with the subdivision. The staff is recommending approval of the preliminary plat and the requested variance.
Questions? Okay, at this time, we'll open up the public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you.
If there's anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on this subject, please come forward, sign in. Okay, having no one come forward, we will close the public hearing at this time. Commissioners, comments?
Mr. Kelly, is the sewer that's there, the existing lines that are there, where are they located? Are they located underneath the street? I don't see it on the plat. Maybe mine's too small.
For your eyes.
Let me see if I can
And my eyes are going, one or the two.
let me see if I can get this up on the projector. Zoom out. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Can you see where I'm pointing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The existing sanitary sewer, everything sewers south to the low point is down here.
Mm-hmm.
The existing sewer is, they have an 18-inch sewer that starts at Cookie Lane, and it comes all the way down straight. This portion here is an easement that would be abandoned, and they're going to relocate that sewer to follow the street right away
Okay.
to take its place. So that's one of them. The other one, there's also another 15-inch sewer that drains into this 18 right here.
Mm-hmm.
It goes straight out to
It'll follow the
Windhaven.
property lines. It'll follow the property lines going
well,
down.
that one has to be totally relocated. They're abandoning that easement as
Okay.
well.
Okay,
The majority of that will be under Prairie Glen Street.
okay,
They'll be relocating that one.
okay. Just making sure we can have access for those in 40 years.
Yes. All right. Any other
Hopefully
questions?
they last that long. No, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, any further discussion or a motion to recommend or deny to City Council?
Make a motion to recommend approval?
Motion by Karen,
Second.
seconded by Brent. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Item 6 is public hearing zoning. There are three items to come before the board. We'll address each one of them with a separate public hearing. Item 6A is consideration of a zone change request from agricultural open space AO to light industrial district zoning L1 on 1.202 acres located at 432 Barfnick Lane, further identified as SM Hayden Survey, abstract number 537, tract 15 and 16. This request is being made by Tony Rasmussen, the property owner. It's case number PZ 2013-0505. Jay?
Put that back up there. Good evening again. This property consists of two tracts currently. The primary tract has a single structure with a rear area that is screened and currently holds storage. The primary uses on the property right now are storage and vehicle repair. The current zoning for the property is agricultural open space. and as so, all current uses on this property are non-conforming. AO primarily allows single-family dwellings, large setbacks, and is really targeted towards farming and ranching uses. The applicant is interested in expanding the existing structure on the property and is thinking about expanding, or building building more structures in the future. Unfortunately, Mr. Rasmussen will have to go through a series of steps to get there. The first is going to be a zone change to light industrial. Light industrial allows a wide range of uses, including automobile repair. As so, we've also informed Mr. Rasmussen that he'll also have to plat and site plan the property and also acquire the recently passed special use permit for auto repair. And as I said, zoning is the first step in this process. Staff recommends approval, or staff recommends that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval to City Council. You have any questions?
Okay, thank you, Jay. This time, we'll open up the public hearing for this item. Anybody wishes to step forward and speak, please do so now. Okay, we'll close the public hearing on item 6A, the consideration. Discussion, commissioners? Okay, do I have a motion to recommend or deny?
Make a motion to recommend.
Motion by Karen, recommend approval.
Second.
Seconded by Alvin. Those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Agenda item 6B is consideration of a zone change request from single-family residential R5 to townhouse TH on a 4.2 acre located on the north side of Highland Drive, approximately 500 feet east of Denton Tap Road, further identified as Vista Ridge United Methodist Church Edition, Phase 1, Lot 1R3, Block A. This request is being made by Cedar Creek Development, LLC, on behalf of the property owner. The case number is PZ 2013-0506. Pesha?
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Pesha Boomsma, Planning Administrator. And the case before you tonight is basically what it was initially an excess portion of property purchased by the church that they had initially planned on using for expansion that is determined not to be needed for expansion anymore. So they are interested in selling it to someone for development. Just in case you're wondering, the R5 with the PH behind it stands for patio home. It's kind of an antiquated term from our zoning ordinance that we don't necessarily use anymore, but that's what the PH is for the adjacent property. This lot is at the southern portion of Louisville, near the border, and it's adjacent to the Market Street Shopping Center. They're requesting the zone change to allow for an attached product. What's allowed right now would be a detached product. What's being proposed is townhomes in groups of 4 to 6 with breaks in between. The applicant has agreed to deed restrict the units so that they don't meet just the minimum of 1,450 square feet. These would be at least 1,800 square feet minimums and could go higher. So although they are asking for smaller lot sizes and attached residences, they're actually going to exceed what is allowed in the R5 zoning designation for the proposed townhome zoning. These would be 2 stories. They are also going to be seeking a variance for the alley requirement, so there are no alleys proposed in this development. There would be a wooden fence along the rear of the yards, and staff is recommending consider on this item due to the increase in intensity. However, even though there is an increase in intensity, we do feel that this would be an appropriate buffer between the existing single-family residences and the commercial zone property that the church occupies and what the vacant parcel adjacent to the church. All right. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. We also have our applicant here with his team that is happy to answer any inquiries you might have tonight.
I think we'd like to see that
Okay.
for the audience too.
Let me go and show you.
that's what it's.
Good evening. My name is Bob Pearson. I represent Cedar Creek Development. We are the applicant, and I think Ms. Boomsma said it very well. We feel that the property would be the ideal buffer between the current subdivision and the church, being a general business zoning. Actually, at one point, this was general business zoned and had been rezoned to the R5 position. We're now wanting to go back part of the way. There will be an HOA involved. It will be fee simple, I might add. As Ms. Boomsma said, we are prepared, we have deed restricted the property to a minimum 1,800 square feet heated. We will probably exceed that in most of the units, upward to about 1,980 square feet. There will be an HOA to take care of the property and be sure that it's kept in its proper integrity. And we will sell the properties for the 190 to the 230s. So I think that this is a little more than the current property values in the general area, but I believe it will be well received, and it is more of a boutique type deal. It's only 37 units, but I think it will be in the right place. We are surrounded in the front by the rear of Market Street and the retail center across the street being in Coppell. Excuse me, being in Coppell, since that is the line, and the subdivision on one side, the church on the other, and multifamily high-density units to the rear. So I think we're kind of in a good position for townhomes at this point. Is there anything I can add?
Do you have any pictures of proposed elevations or anything?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I was going to remind you that everyone has a letter from the Property Owners Association.
You want me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay. After you.
We did meet with the Property Owners Association, and we have a letter from their president dated yesterday that says that no one at the meeting was in it. Coincidentally, it was their annual meeting, which there was a pretty good attendance, and they elected new officers on the board, being the same ones. But
I'm going to read it so it'll be in the record
There
after
you
you're
go.
finished. So,
And this is a typical elevation that we would be, I'm not sure, I don't want to put it upside down. There you go. Thanks. Okay, thank you. That's, pardon? Stone and brick, being minimum 80% stone and brick, some siding for architectural purposes mostly, and in areas where point loads are involved, such as fireplace and so forth. 2-car garages on all units, wood garage doors. I believe we'll produce quite a nice product. And our market is like everyone's market at present, I guess maybe partly at least the young executives, but also sort of looking at perhaps in part clientele from empty nester type thing. One selling phase point that we may look at is there's one red light between us and DFW. So I think there's a lot of people at DFW may take some interest in this.
anything else from Mr. Pearson?
Pardon?
Are there, is there anything else? Other questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Pearson. Appreciate it. All right. I will read this letter so it'll be in the record. It's a letter from the Homeowners Association next door. It says, Dear Mr. Sykes, thank you for coming to the Vista Ridge Estates Homeowners Association annual meeting on April 17th, 2013. With Robert Pearson from the Cedar Creek Development, we appreciate the insight into the planned sale and future development of the section of land along Highland Drive in Louisville that Vista Ridge United Methodist Church currently owns, which backs up to our neighborhood. The presentation of the planned construction of townhomes by Cedar Creek Development was informative and was met with interest from the homeowners present at the meeting. The homeowners were engaged and asked several questions. There were no objections to the planned zone change, sale, or future townhome development or any of the homeowners present at the meeting. Thank you again for keeping us informed. Sincerely, David Fortune, President, Vista Ridge Estates Homeowners Association. So at this time, we open up the public hearing. If anybody wants, yes, sir, Mr. Pearson. Oh.
We asked them to write down their name.
Pardon?
Just a reminder that everyone should write down their name and address on the
Okay.
sign-in sheet, please.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, state your name and sign in, please.
Okay. I'm Barry Sykes. I was referred to in the letter.
That's your letter.
I'm one of the trustees of Vista Ridge United Methodist Church, so I'm here representing the 600 members for the church that voted within our own organization to sell this property to Mr. Pearson. We're very much in favor of the zoning. We think it is a perfect transition from the residential area over to the church property. I think a lot of what I'm going to say has already been said, but we know that by looking at his products, working with him, we know he's going to do a first-class job. We know if this product is put in place, I think it'll be very beneficial to the neighborhood. We think that if it doesn't go through, you know, it's such a better product than what you'd probably see from us if we ended up building on that property, because you'd see a piece of concrete or the back of a large church building. So we very much support that. We think this would be the best news or the best possibility between us and our neighbors.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sykes.
Hi, I'm Emma Moss, and I live at 2846 Ridgedale Drive. My property backs directly up to the property that we're talking about. And I'm here to say that I don't think it's going to be a good idea. I don't like the idea of housing going into my neighborhood right behind me that is going to negatively affect the price of my property. Now, I just heard someone say that the property is about the same price. That is absolutely not true. Just got my tax statement this week. And as we all know, that what's on your tax statement does not even say what the real value of your property is. But they did assess it at $212,000, okay? But if I sold the property, I'm sure that it would go for more than that. I'm here to oppose the zoning change. And the people at the church, I've loved the church. I think it's a great idea. I love the way they keep up the property. I've been there since 1998, so I'm an original owner, and I've watched the area develop. And I love the area and don't plan on moving, but I don't enjoy the ideal of a 30 to 40 foot building looking over into my backyard. And I really do not want to see my property value go down if I should decide to sell, because they do averaging of what the cost of homes are in a neighborhood. And if you're building homes that are starting off at a lower cost than any house on Ridgedale, that's the street I live on, you cannot tell me that that's not going to bring down the property value on my property. And I would just like to encourage the council to please look farther into this, and I'm recommending and asking them not to approve this zoning change.
Thank you, Emma.
Matt, what is the square footage of your home?
Without including the garage, it's 2,100, I believe.
Okay.
2,180, I think exactly.
Thanks, Emma. Anyone else?
Oh, yeah.
All right, come on up.
All right.
State your name and
Hi.
sign in the roster.
My name is Dmitry Mitrofan, and I'm direct involved on this problem. Because my property, I don't see here the schematics with the properties. What I see, it's only there.
Do you
What
want this or
is-
this?
I don't see, like, we got one in the mail,
Okay.
okay, to show them why I'm direct involved in this stuff. Okay. So, we know I am the original owner for this property from 1998, and I am very happy the way it is. With this construction, the value of our property will go down. We know also the church, I think, is more interested in business than actually church duty, because with 2-3 years ago, they tried to build a soccer field to rent to different, I don't know, associations, something like this. So that didn't happen. So now they came up with this stuff. Already, personal, and I think the other people, I got problem not only with the church, like noise overnight, because the waste management is coming and pick up the trash, everything from there, and same from the Market Street. But so I complained about this stuff, and nothing was solved. Now, my property is right here. If you can see it, it's right, my fence, right on their property. Here.
Oops.
Oops, what's going on?
Screen. We have AV problems. I apologize.
Okay. We saw where it was. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
The
the
thing went
church
out.
property is
Yes.
this one. My fence is right here. And after that, it's an access road or something like that. For me to accept their proposal or to build that stuff, we should have at least 25 foot of belt, a green belt. Trees, I don't know what else. So we need to be isolated from them.
Some kind of buffer, is what you're saying.
I say buffer, it's many meanings. I said green belt with trees at least 25 feet. And maybe I will accept that stuff. But on this way right now, please consider to disregard their proposal.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate your input. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
I'm Robin Fry. I live at 2874 Ridgedale Drive. I have been a resident homeowner there since 2001. And my wife and I, we have the freedom to live wherever we want, and we choose to call Louisville our home. Through that time, I've seen a lot of development in that area. And it's good to see development. Development is good. It's positive for a community, it's positive for a city. It promotes economic development and longevity of the community. A good example of that is the Old Town Plan. It's being worked on. That's been a collaborative effort between community members, city staff, and design workshop. I've really appreciated seeing the vision that has come out of that master plan. And you know, I know when you master plan a community, whether it's Castle Hills, Tiburon, Lost Creek Ranch, whatever it may be, you look at a variety of housing types within that development. You look at single-family attached, single-family detached, large estate lots, townhomes, and possibly even some multifamily. And I know that when you look at all those different housing types, you provide buffers, transitions, and points of green space to border those to create the community. With this proposed development, I guess I was very disappointed to learn about the development through a letter that I received from the Planning Commission. And you know, I was not at the annual meeting for the HOA Association, so that was on my shoulders. But I was very disappointed to learn about it from the letter that I received from the Planning Commission, because with all the collaborative development that had gone on with the Old Town Master Plan, I would have hoped that the developer would have approached the HOA and the residents who live along adjacent to it or who back up against the proposed development sooner than now. And so, you know, I'm not a NIMBY, I'm not a banana, but you know what? My concern is the quality of the development that is going in there. You know, I'm not worried about losing my view. I knew that time would come sooner or later. What my concern is the quality of development and the quality of community that it's going to create. You know, there's a continuity of street along Highland with the Vista Ridge Estates, the low-rise office buildings there. There's some townhomes, and then there's the church on the corner, and then there's Market Street grocery store. It creates a nice street view, nice street sense, nice community sense. And I guess my concern is this comes across as piecemeal design. I'd rather see the entire corner redeveloped than a little pocket like this. My concern is with these townhomes coming in here at the price point they are, someone could come in easily with an extra $1 million, $2 million in their pocket, buy up a block of them, and then become rental units. Or they start the development and are unable to finish due to whatever reason, slow sales or financial difficulties, and they turn into a glorified apartment complex. You know, like I said, I'm not against development and I'm not against progress, but I'm very concerned about the quality of what's going in there. And I've seen the images of what's being proposed as far as the site plan and the elevation of the entry of the screen wall. And I just now saw the image of the units. And I must say, I'm not impressed. And to go ahead and approve this request for rezoning, I feel like not knowing what the backside of those units are going to look like or what they're going to propose as far as separation. I know the city only requires between, and I know townhomes are considered residential. I know the city only requires a wood fence. But since they're Johnny-come-lately to the scene, I think there needs to be more of a barrier there, whether it's a landscape barrier that's evergreen, that's pretty dense, or a masonry screen wall, either one. Otherwise, to approve this request without knowing a lot of those details, I feel like we're giving the developer carte blanche to do whatever they choose to do. So I respectfully request that you deny this request for rezoning of this property. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fry.
Okay. Members of the Plan and Zoning Commission, good evening. First of all, let me tell you my name. I'm Ray Hackman. I live at 2870 Ridgedale Drive. I live in a house directly adjacent to the property that's the subject of this meeting. Allow me please first to commend all of you for being on the Plan and Zoning Commission and spending your valuable time in hearing cases and responsibly planning for the city's growth. I'm here tonight, of course, to speak against your recommending this case to the City Council for approval. And my case is really this. I've spent 20, 25 years of my career in the real estate business. A good 10 to 15 years has been in land development. So I've actually, ironically enough, been in the shoes of the builder-developer, making many presentations to Plan and Zoning Commissions and City Councils. So it's kind of ironic that I find myself in the other shoes as a homeowner speaking against a zoning case. But my case is this, is that the cities, regardless of what city it is, spends a great deal of time and effort by many different individuals, both on the Planning and Zoning Commissions and City Councils, and in many cases outside third-party consultants, to devise a responsible plan of growth, a master land use plan, if you will, for the city. And I've only been in this neighborhood a short period of time, so I don't know the long history behind it, but it's not really relevant in this particular case. The current zoning of the property is for single-family detached houses. And I've heard a case by both the builder-developer as well as the property seller, which is the church, that this would be a good, quote, transitional usage of the property. Well, I would contend that there's not really any need for a transitional property. The property is zoned single family. There's no good logical reason why it shouldn't be built as single family detached houses. There are many cases in which a transitional property zoning is needed, but certainly this is not one. There is absolutely no compelling reason why this zoning should be changed. I haven't taken the time to do the research, present written evidence that for single-family property owners, especially in a good, well-established neighborhood like ours, that the building of townhomes or apartments is almost absolutely, without any doubt, going to detrimentally affect the property value of our homes. And so, I mean, that being said, I actually had a lot more to say, and Mr. Fry very eloquently expressed some concerns about this and that in terms of the look of the properties and whatnot. And I will say myself that I did not get the email to attend the annual meeting, which I guess the developer made a presentation, or I certainly would have expressed my objections to the development then. That again is my fault for not having been in that meeting, but I guess overall, the city has decided that this was a single-family detached homes when a property owner or a potential property owner goes into a neighborhood, whether it's yourselves or anybody else, when you're looking for a home, amongst many other factors that you're considering in deciding whether to buy a home or not, if you have vacant property next to that property, it's only prudent that a logical person would check out the zoning of that property to see what ultimately could be built behind that property. And if you buy a house and you've got a zoning, a business, a commercial, industrial zoning of some kind, you have to think that at one point in time that's going to be built there, and then decide, do I really want to live next to a warehouse or a retail shopping center or whatever it's going to be, a fast food place. And then you decide accordingly whether you want to live there or not, and then maybe you adjust your price accordingly, because most people don't want to live next to that. In this particular case, we could see that there were single-family detached houses backing up to this house. And although, yes, we enjoy an unobstructed view of the sunset and a vacant piece of property that we thoroughly enjoy, we're certainly knowledgeable and intelligent enough to know that at some point in time that there probably were going to be single-family detached houses back there. And of course, the hope was that we'd be one of the lucky ones and have a single-story house behind us. But the worst case being it would be a two-story. But in summary, I guess, we certainly never anticipated there being a having to look at a wall of townhomes behind our house, which is going to negatively affect our properties. And the bottom line for me is I just hope that in your wisdom that you would respect our request, that you not grant this zoning change request, because I see absolutely no compelling reason to change the zoning from what it is. Having been in that business, that even though the market has been down the last 4 or 5 years, I know the market is extremely strong for single-family houses right now, and there's no reason why that shouldn't be kept the way it is, with the hope that at some point in time, a single-family home, a single-family detached builder would come in and buy it and build the homes, and thus protecting the value of the homes that we have. I do know I speak for a couple of other people, and I know that probably officially their names can't be recognized because they're not here, but I did have a couple of other neighbors that said they couldn't be here tonight, that said to please object to the zoning change request. So again, thank you for your time, and just once more in summary, I ask that you respectfully deny this request for a zoning change and make that such known to the City Council. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Acton.
Good afternoon. My name is Tracy Abram. I live at 2866 Ridgedale. I also back up right to the Vista Ridge United Methodist Church. I've lived there since 1999. Purchased the home 11 months after it was built, and I've been a heavy resident ever since. Honestly, I received also this notification last week and was quite surprised that there was a possibility that they might build townhomes behind my house. Initially, I thought, what, yet another opportunity to put something back there. As Dimitri mentioned earlier, there was a proposed soccer field that almost went up a couple of years ago, and was concerned about that, as well as, you know, most of those soccer fields or what have you have lots of lights, and I'm not quite sure if the homeowners and just the thought of the disturbance that would have caused back then, and now the possibility of having the townhomes behind our homes. Honestly, I thought first, being transparent here, is this going to be another opportunity for theft, for break-ins, for possibility of having problems in our neighborhood? It seems as if I get emails quite often with break-ins, and there are a lot of break-ins just around the corner. We're here, and on this side is Ballantyne apartment complex, and there seems to be a lot of break-ins in those homes that are along that street. And so it concerned me that, you know, the possibility of putting townhome properties there might increase the occurrence of break-ins in my property. It also concerned me that we have quite a few townhomes in the Louisville area. We're surrounded by, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 townhome properties. So it just seems as if when we're talking about this master plan area, it just seems as if, you know, it's gone from being light industrial, where you might have less occupancy, to a lot of multiple family dwellings, even if it's not apartment complexes. So that's a concern. I'll be honest, before I bought my home, I'm a single individual. I bought my first home, and I was looking at a townhome. I thought townhomes, well, they're pretty nice, and I don't really want to have to worry about the exterior of a property. I thought that might be a good option for me. When I found my home, I walked in. The owner was moving to Austin, and I walked in, and I said, I don't want you to show this house to anyone else. I want this house. I wrote her a check on the spot. I called my mom, and she said, what did you do? I said, I want to buy a house. I decided I want to buy a house. I want to buy a townhome. Personally, I think that townhomes, while they might be a great entry home for people, I think that there's so many, they're just flooding the market, and I don't know that, you know, people care about them as much as they care about their single-family homes. And I personally think that, you know, maybe if this is taken care of by a homeowner association, maybe those dues will keep the property looking decent. But as Robin mentioned earlier, maybe you have people come in and buy them and they don't care about their property as much. Or maybe there are a lot of young people who come in and they're, you know, running down the place, and I don't know. Honestly, I just want some people just like me, living by me. So being transparent, I like to say that I'm pretty sure most of the people think the same way that I think. And you know, just the idea of having homes behind our homes that don't have people who live in them who think just like we do. We just want to have a home where we're at peace and that we can go home and be at peace and not think that there's someone who's going to disturb that. In your home, you should be able to feel comfortable. And where I'm sure this property, it's such a small plot of land. I just can't imagine where they can put anything else between the church and this and our community that would make any sense. And it just seems like it would be so disjointed in itself. I don't know why this would be a good idea, but if yet another row of townhomes needs to go up in Louisville, you know, why not the little place that's behind our home? It's just a concern of mine, and certainly I'd like to make sure that the council knows that people who live there just don't want something thrown there just because there's a little parcel of land. When I moved there, they said, oh, that's the church's land, and if they choose to expand it, they'll have to put a retaining wall there. And I have not heard of any break-ins along our area, along the back of Ridgedale, that area that backs up against the church. And I primarily think it's because there's a lot of visibility to it. It's not backing up to their homes. It's not backing up to an apartment complex. It's wide open. So if you're breaking into someone's home in the middle of the day or at night or something, someone might see you. And I think that is a deterrent. But even if they do put something there, if it's a single-family home, I think that more than likely people are going to be, you know, families, parents, people who take pride in their home, just like I do. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.
Good evening. My name is Bruce Sauls. I live in Vista Ridge Estates. My address is 2878 Ridgedale Drive. Like most of the people that have spoken here tonight, my property is adjacent to the property that we're discussing. My backyard backs right up to it. The request for this zoning change concerns me in two respects. The first one being my investment in my house, which has been stated here several times before. But my second concern goes deeper than any loss of property value. My family will most likely suffer if a zoning change request is granted and townhomes are allowed to be built adjacent to our neighborhood. I believe that approving this zoning change request would be altering the terms of an agreement between the City of Louisville and the 396 homeowners of Vista Ridge Estates. That agreement being the land will be used for its zoned purpose. The property is zoned for single-family residential homes, similar to the homes in Vista Ridge Estates bordering this property. And it's a fair assumption by the nearby homeowners that any development of the property would be similar to their homes and their neighborhood. It would be fair and probably supported by the community to build single-family detached homes here. It would be less than fair to approve the land to be used for something other than what it is zoned for, something less than the community has a reasonable right to expect. I ask the zoning committee to play fair and not approve the zoning change request. Thank you for your time and for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Bruce.
Hi. My name is Thomas. Live in 2854 Richardale Drive. I have too many neighbors came here and explained too many things. I think I would like to, but I have not enough English, so I don't talk anymore about that. But I would like strongly ask you to deny this changing problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I believe the applicant would like to come up again and address some of the concerns of the people that have spoken in the public hearing, and then I'd like to do a quick wrap-up before we...
Thank you, Patient.
Just one thing, and I just want to address a concern just because of the way it's zoned right now. With a church, what I found out is we can build literally anything on that property we want to. And our plans are anything structurally related to the church, right? Isn't that right?
Yes.
Yes. So whatever we build over there will be a parking lot or the back of a large building. So I just want people to understand, just because it's zoned residential, we own the property. And not that we want to create any problems, but that's likely what we'll build is a larger building with a parking lot over there, because we won't be building any residential homes. So I just wanted to address that one item that came up.
Okay, thank you.
So what does a single-family detached zoning mean then, if they can build anything they want?
I'm sorry to come back again, but the gentleman did it. So if he don't want to listen to our concerns, I'm telling you, he will have a lot of problems.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd just like to address the gentleman's question about our zoning ordinance.
Please.
The city's zoning ordinance allows churches to go in any zoning district of the city. So what could be developed on that property, as Mr. Sykes mentioned, is an expansion of the existing church or anything to do with the church. Sometimes they have daycares, sometimes they have sports fields, playgrounds, parking. Any of that would be acceptable in this zoning designation. What could also go there are exactly like they mentioned, the 5,000 square foot lot homes. That could happen without any type of hearing. That could happen if someone came in and filed a plat on the property today.
Okay.
Thank you for your time. Sorry to keep you away from dinner. It's been my observation here tonight that, number one, there's no transitional type property necessary between single family and any other zoning. I want to point out to the committee that this property was zoned general business. It was later changed to single family and then decided not to be used for that because the size of the property is not conducive to what they're doing. I'm not using the alley that's currently in place in the single-family zoning in my development of townhomes. And certainly the price range that we're referring to being the 190s to the 230s is, I thought, at least equal to the price range of the properties surrounding us. There are a goodly number of townhomes in the area and have been for some time. Most of them right across the street, and I believe in the area of Capel as far as the jurisdiction is concerned, but they're there. And I think they've been good neighbors, and they seemingly are very well kept. And to address the gentleman's comment earlier that these properties would be bought up in one swoop and used as rental property, I want to say that my business is primarily multifamily, and there's no way that you can pay $200,000 and be feasible with a rental property. You don't do that. They're selling at 60 and 70, 80,000 is the maximum, and that would be something maybe in the middle of Dallas. But there was also another issue that was brought about, and that is my ability to financially support this property and complete the property. I have with me letters from Bank of the West signed by Larry by Larry Smith, its president, whom I've done business with now for more than 15 years, and also Sam Wilson over at the American National Bank, whom I've done business with in both development and in construction over the past 15 or 16 years. I would like to introduce them and give them to the Planning and Zoning Department. Ms. Booms, thanks. So I believe I enjoy the reputation among my peers of creating a quality product and not leaving anything undone or unfinished. I've been in this business for about 38 years, and I've never not finished one, nor have I built something substandard. I believe this is a good addition to the community, and I think it is only fair to put back into a zoning presence something that was originally zoned by the city in the original plan, general business. The townhome zoning is certainly not high density and not in this price range, certainly not something that would attract people in criminal type manners. What's going on in the rear of the property or the high density multifamily property back there, I'm not familiar with and I'm no part of. So if they have a problem, it may be associated with that, not with us. And I do believe, yes, it is a nice community, and it has the advantages of Market Street and some really nice strip shopping centers and such, but we're in the back of that. So when you look out the back of our property, you're looking in the front of our property, you're looking at the back of a supermarket. This is not exactly the best place in the world, but I think it's going to be a nice development, and I think it will add to the area, certainly not subtract. And so I do believe that what we're doing is a positive thing for the city and for taxpayers. Right now, the city gets no taxes because the church is exempt from taxation. What you would get here is homeowners, this is fee simple, it's not condo. And it will have an HOA, as I said before, so it will be properly taken care of. And the buffer that was asked for is, this is a small piece of land, and we're only using it for its highest and best use. But from the back of our townhomes to the back of these homes is considerably more than 50 feet. We have minimum 30-foot rear yards, and we have then the alleyway between us and the homeowners and their own backyards. So that when a homeowner sees something of a piece of land that they're next to and hasn't been used, the minute we go to use it, then of course, well, I'm here first and I don't want anybody to come now. But I think it has to be understood that we have to share things in this world, and I don't believe what we're doing. Excuse me, I don't believe what we're doing is in any way a bad thing for the city.
I've got a question for you.
Sure.
Most of the people here to speak tonight seem to be right along that back row.
Yes.
I mean, I know a green belt is unrealistic because that would pretty much take up your entire property, but what about a masonry fence there on that side? Is that something you would consider?
Well, if they'd like to have the green, we can put the wrought iron with Fortinas. That's fine with me. They have wood fencing back there now. And as per code, residential to residential, you don't even need a fence. But we're going to put a wood fence such as they have now so that it would give them the degree of privacy that they would like. But I can understand if they'd prefer to have something green there, well, we'll do the wrought iron tubing and the Fortinas. And then inside of that, we will fence the individual patios for the individual townhome areas in wood fencing, such as they have in their own yards.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
You say you're 50 feet. Are you 50 feet from that alley?
I'm sorry?
Are you 50 feet west of that alley?
No, I'm not. We're not using the alley at all.
That's what I'm asking you.
No, we're not using it.
What's the back setback?
Yeah.
That's what he's asking. What's the setback in the back?
From the back of from the alley to the back of our homes, I think we're looking at 30 feet minimum. Pardon? 20? 20. From the alley right away. Okay, yes, from the alley right away, it's a 20-foot thing. I don't know.
The property zoning is still on file. Okay, but he said that it was something else before.
General business. before.
General business.
Yeah, but when they came up with this
20 feet.
single home building stuff, I never heard. This is first time I heard about construction on this lot. I'm sorry.
Well, we don't want to keep the lot out
Yeah.
of commerce, so.
Okay. And a lot you're talking about now is in the final design and the plat anyway, right? As far as space and area and,
Yeah, well, we have a 25-foot setback, and then the minimum is a two-story. There will be no three-story townhomes, strictly, and there are a lot of two-story homes all over the area. And most of the homes are two-story, I think, in that subdivision.
all right. Thank you, Mr. Pierce.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, you allow him to speak, and I rebut the comments that he just made. I'm not sure.
Aisha, is that? Okay, yes. I had to clarify the rule.
Okay, I didn't know what the protocol was, but he was allowed to speak again after we spoke. So I just wanted to mention one more time that I've been in this business a long time, and I know builders and developers get up with the greatest of plans in terms of what they're going to build and what it's going to sell for, but that's essentially what they're going to end up with is what the market demands, and they could say they're going to sell their homes for this or that, but they're only going to sell them for what the market demands. If the market's not there, the prices are going to come down, and they'll sell for whatever the market's willing to pay. It doesn't make any difference. It's just kind of like muddling the facts here in terms of how many successful projects he's had or what he does for a living. The bottom line is the church owns the property. It's zoned for R5 for single-family residential. That's what we bought the property under the understanding that it was going to be built for single-family homes, or at some point in time the church would expand. We're okay with either one of those. There's no logical, there's no compelling reason to change this zoning just so that the church can sell the property at a higher price, because a higher density zoning is going to command a higher price, nor is there a compelling reason because the developer wants to develop the land. The first responsibility is to homeowners that own property there, who bought their property with the understanding that a single-family detached product or an expansion of the church was going to be built. I mean, that's, to me, is the bottom line. Hopefully, that's what you'll take into consideration, not all this other stuff that's being thrown out.
Okay.
Thank you.
I said it wrong. It is the rear property, the rear yard, it's 29 feet, not 20.
Okay. I think at this time,
No, the maximum would be what the zoning would allow. Three stories.
No.
It could. Let me.
okay.
Sure. I just wanted to, Chairman, I wanted to respond to a couple of the items that have been brought up, and then just give some general points before
Close the public hearing
before you
first?
close the public hearing, yes.
Before, okay.
Or, well, you can close the public hearing first if you'd like.
Okay, at this time, we'll close the public hearing and hear from staff.
Okay. All right, a couple items I would like to focus on. There was a question about height, and would it be required to be 2 stories? If you change the zoning, you are not necessarily approving these elevations that are shown, the 2 stories that are shown. Sometimes things happen and developers go out of business, and so someone else could come in and buy the property, and they would have that zoning in place, and they could do whatever the category allowed. I just want to make that clear to everyone.
Except for the deed.
including the public. I'm sorry?
Except
Except for the deed restrictions, if we had those in place for the 1,800 square feet, those would be required to remain. Let's see. Screening. As was mentioned tonight, there is no masonry wall required between residential, just the wooden fence. That happens all the time in neighborhoods that back up to one another. Just a wooden fence separates them. I did want to mention if the church decides to develop that property, that they would be required to put in a masonry screening wall. They could request a reduction to a tubular steel fence with vegetation to separate themselves from the residential. What else? The city council will make the final decision on this case. It's scheduled for the June 3rd. So please keep in mind that the Planning and Zoning Commission makes a recommendation to the city council. They'll hear this case on June 3rd. And then I wanted to give the commission their options. You can make a recommendation for approval, a recommendation for denial, or you could recommend with stipulations if you felt that that was necessary. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, commissioners, discussion?
Well, I have a question for the representative from the church, if I
Yes, sir.
may. My question is, how much interest, and I know you may be in an awkward situation, given that you're in the process of selling to the developer that's sitting next to you, but how much interest has the church received in the past for a product that would meet the current zoning for the property? And how long has the church been actively trying to sell the property?
We haven't been actively trying to sell it. I mean, we went open to any offers. We hadn't had a for sale sign up. Mr. Pearson was interested, and we talked to him.
Okay.
And it was the best use of the land that we thought was out there, because any residential wasn't gonna, you could only put one row of houses in there,
Mhm.
no one would ever say that. We would rather build on it than.
Okay.
We think we'd be at a loss.
Thank you.
Okay, commissioners, we have three options. Approve a recommendation for approval to the council. And even though if we do make a recommendation of approval, it does go to the council, they have final say. They can deny it or approve it at that point.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then the other one is if there's any consideration you want to make as a recommendation, so. Can I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion that we recommend to council approval of the change in zoning.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Jared, seconded by Karen. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed?
No.
No.
Could I get a number? I'm sorry. I couldn't.
Okay.
No.
Ayes.
Aye?
No.
No?
No.
No? 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 Aye?
No.
No?
Aye.
Aye. I don't know how that counted out. I think it was 4 noes and 3 yeses, but I'm not sure.
I got 3 noes and 4 yeses.
Okay.
Let's,
There's 4 noes.
just make sure.
Yeah, re-poll, please.
Let's
Aye.
go one by one. Okay.
Yeah, do that. No.
No.
No?
Aye. No.
Aye.
Okay, so by a vote of 4 to 3, it is denied. The recommendation
Falls apart.
The recommendation did not carry.
Okay. So what's the next step?
Someone else make a recommendation to either deny or
Okay.
another recommendation to the city
We want to make
council.
sure it's proper. Yes.
Make a recommendation to deny those.
Okay, a recommendation to deny was made by Michael,
Second.
seconded by Brent. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Aye. Same individual, same number. So that motion does carry to deny. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so we're done with that topic. Item 6C is consideration of a zone change request from light industrial L1 to Old Town Mixed Use OTMU2 on a .177 acre located at 320 North Keeley Avenue, further identified H.D. William Addition, Block A, Lot 3. This request is being made by Amy Castro, the property owner. This is case number PZ 20130507. And Mr. J?
All right, this property is zoned light industrial, but has always been a residence. And this property is unique. It actually has an accessory dwelling unit. However, the unit is unpermitted and does not currently meet building codes. To become compliant, the applicant has agreed to move the accessory dwelling unit and attach it to the primary residence. To do so, she will need to rezone to OTMU2 to allow the modification. LI does not permit residential uses. The surrounding zoning, the 2 lots just to the north is currently OTMU2. The rest of the block is light industrial, and just across the street is general business. The recommended zoning for the parcel by the Old Town Master Plan is Old Town Mixed Use 2, the requested zoning. It's a very flexible zoning district that allows a wide range of residential options, as well as office, retail, and entertainment uses. The proposed addition to the residence will be reviewed by the Old Town Design Review Committee before approved. Staff recommends approval.
Questions for staff? Okay, thank you, Jay. At this time, we'll open up the public hearing. If there's anyone who wishes to step forward and speak on behalf of this, please do so at this time. Okay, having no one come forward, we'll close the public hearing. Discussion?
Make a motion, recommend approval.
Motion by Karen to recommend approval.
Second.
Seconded by Steve. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7 is a report. So,
There will be a Brownfields Advisory Committee meeting following the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting tonight.
okay, in 10 minutes?
Sure.
Okay. All right, do I need a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Karen to adjourn.
Second.
Seconded by Alvin. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.